back for round 4 of the Treasure Cup. We're in the home stretch right now, still undefeated, just finishing up the match with Lim, and now heading in to one of the final bosses, Lucci. This game was quite the long game, so I am going to be running this video in 2x speed. We roll an 11, they roll an 8, so we get the pick. We've been on a hot roll with the dice roll for this Treasure Cup, so we're going to take second from them. We definitely want to take second from Lucci. We don't want them playing the 4-cost Kuzan on curve. Looking at our opening hands, it costs Luffy, Sanji Pudding, Gum Gum, Frankie, and Stage. It's not the best, but it's not the worst by any means. We have the Stage, we have the Sanji Pudding. We do have Frankie if we want to ramp, and the 6-cost Luffy. It's actually like fantastic. We just don't have any like searchers, but we have most of the pieces that we want in the matchup. The only thing we're missing is maybe the 4-cost Green Zoro. In case we have some bodies on board and we can rest what they have if they play a 4-cost Kuzan. So we play the Stage, then playing out the Nami, pretty standard start. So here we do have the choice between Sanji Pudding or 4-cost Zoro, and I opt to actually take, I believe, the 4-cost Zoro. This card, I'm pretty wishy-washy on it. I don't know if I like it too much, but it has come in handy sometimes. And especially against Lucci, it's like a really strong card. So I opted to just take it, but maybe I should have taken the second Sanji Pudding. We want to make sure if they can't clear one, we can maybe slap another like 1 or 2, and then it becomes hard for them to keep up with us. We play out the Nami, and here's another decision where I chose to take the Stage because the Stage is so valuable, especially if we can like double stage the first body that comes out just to protect it. And I had a 6-cost Luffy in hand, so I opted to just bottom the second one. It's important to note that in my current list I run 3 secret Luffys, so there's only one more left in the deck. We play out Frankie and pass. We don't really care if he kills Frankie. We have our next turn play with Sanji Pudding restanding 4 Dawn total at the end, and then maybe playing out that Green Zoro if they play a threat here, or even if they just keep the Brook standing. So they swing, we take, minusing the Frankie. And they're just deliberating what they want to do on their 5 Dawn turn. They play out Rebecca, I guess wanting to pull out that Kuzan in their trash, yeah. Playing out the Toy Soldier to minus and swinging 5 with Brook to KO it. I don't mind this. They know that we searched the 4-cost Green Zoro, so we can pretty much kind of clear everything on board here. So this looks like an obvious play here. We're just going to play Sanji Pudding, Leader Effect, play out the 4-cost Zoro. And it's important when we play out the 4-cost Zoro, they need to have 2 characters on board for it to swing. So we swing first with that Zoro, rest the Rebecca, swing at the Zoro into the Brook, just to make use of that swing. And then they're deliberating here if they want to give us a 2k, but I think it's just better to let it go. I'm going to bully it more after. We swing the Nami into Rebecca and then 6 into lead. We're in a super commanding position here. We have 2 bodies on board. They have nothing. They're down to 3 life. They haven't really played anything too impressive yet. They could play the Kuzan here. We know they have it in hand. And maybe it was a bit premature for me to play out the Zoro, but just having a commanding board against Lucci is like what you want. So let's see what they decide to do. They're at 7 Dawn. They swing into the Nami and minus the Zoro actually and play out the Jack on 7. I definitely was hoping to apply enough pressure where Jack didn't land on the board, because without Gamma Knife, which I don't have in hand, it's kind of hard to remove. I definitely should have, I think, just jammed into the Jack. This Jack ended up creating a lot of problems throughout the game, and it was definitely a mistake not to just jam the Dawn. So this is, I think, the first misplay that I make, major misplay. I think some of the search decisions earlier maybe could have been better too. I wish also we had something to play off of Luffy Taro, but we have nothing to play off Luffy Taro, which kind of sucks. If we could have played Luffy Taro into a Sanji Pudding here, it would have been fantastic, which is probably good reason to have searched the Sanji Pudding earlier over the Zoro. So kind of disappointed with some of my decision making this game. We swung 7, they took, so I just called out the 6 cost Luffy. And I think it's not too late to even just take the 4 Dawn, jam the Jack. But I opted not to do that. Just thinking maybe they can counter it and then I'll lose a lot of tempo. So we restage, hoping that if we stage the Sanji Pudding, stage the 6 cost Luffy, the thresholds might be a bit too high for them to reach. Checking our Dawn, we're at 6. And here just deliberating what it is I want to do. I'm going to swing 7 at lead, see what they do. And they just take it, which is very surprising to me. I don't know if they were baiting me to try and go 7 and use the ability to go 7 again. Which kind of would not be good because we would have no Dawn up, 1 life. And even if they split with Jack and Lucci, we don't really have much counter in hand. So I'm definitely not going to do that play. And I think here what we decide to do is just swing 8 at lead with the Luffy. In hindsight, like I said, I should have just jammed all of my Dawn into the Jack and reset that turn, sort of make it so that like them playing the Jack was kind of like just a wasted turn. Instead I pushed life here, and to my surprise they took. So I'm not really sure what was going on at this point, but yeah, I think that Jack staying, we're about to see why it's a big problem, and I think I just gave them the means to come back in this game despite having such a commanding start. I was really expecting them to guard once I played the 6 cost Luffy to guard one of the 7s, but they just ended up taking everything, so they showed like no fear of the swings, which was kind of strange to me. There's a Tempest, definitely not great. Another Tempest, wow. And at this point it's not looking good. They just used the Jack effect to get rid of that Luffy. And I believe at this, and there's a 3rd Tempest kick, so I'm in disbelief at this point. Definitely not great. But it kind of might explain why they were so free to take all those lives. They might have been like just very bricked up. And if that's the case, we definitely should have jammed into the Jack. And I think if we got rid of that Jack last turn, we would be in a very, very good spot. We have the Searcher Nami to search for something to play off of Luffy Taro. And without Jack, they're very limited in what they can do. And now they have a whole turn of like, I'm not sure how much Dawn left. I think they triple Tempest. And now the Sanji Pudding is down to 1 cost, so they have like a myriad of options to just remove it. They swing 6, we take it, it's a Gum Gum Giant, and they just play Rebecca into a Brook to KO it. And our board is reset. And now they have the blocker on board with the Jack, so it's going to be even more of a nightmare to remove it. We should have definitely taken the chance when we had it. I think here we start the turn. We're at 8 Dawn. We can just start safely with a Nami search. See if we get a Sanji Pudding to play off of Luffy Taro. That's the goal, and unfortunately we don't. I forgot what I take here. I think I just tunnel into the stage, but that's a mistake if I did that. Yeah. I think my thought process here is I just take the stage because if I Dawn minus with the Luffy Taro, I can play the 6 cost Sanji off of him. Which is actually not a bad play because they're just high cost thresholds. And I'm hoping for at least 1 body to stick. They are at 0 life, and if they can't recurse the Rebecca, we're in an okay spot still. And I think that's why I took the stage, just already having the 7 and 6 cost on board. Staging one of them, staging the other one, having a 9 and an 8 cost. You would think I'd be safe next turn, but spoiler alert, I don't think I am. So yeah, we stage the Sanji, and I think we are gonna play the stage in hand. And we draw into Zorojuro, and we stage out the Luffy Taro, swinging 6 into lead. They just give us a 2k. And now the fact that Rebecca's stuck, the Jack's stuck, the game is just gonna start going downhill from here. Very disappointed in the fact that I didn't try to kill the Jack. But I'm hoping with at least the 2 bodies, relatively high cost, we can sort of equalize here. We have a bunch of Gum-Gums. We can use them always to cycle if we need. I think at this point we bottomed all 3 of the 6-cost Luffys. But we also have been using Stage, Nami Searchers. So we're kind of going through the deck. They're on their 10 Dawn right now. Deliberating what it is they want to do. Obviously their goal is to try and KO both of those bodies. But I think they'll be pretty happy if they can just KO one. We're at a total of 5 Dawn right now, going up to 7. So if we do have another 6-cost Luffy, and they only have the 1 blocker, we are maybe able to push through. So maybe they're a bit worried about that. Trying to maybe fortress up this turn as well, more than just the 1 Rebecca. So thinking quite long and hard on this turn. And they play the Laboon. It's really the best of worst cards I want to see in this matchup back to back. They swing with the Brook, minusing the Sanji and KOing the Nami, which they actually can't do because the Brook KOs a 0. We realize that. And they say it's fine, you just keep the Nami there. It's not really doing any harm, no foul. And the Jack, again, just coming in so clean, KOing another body and still leaving so much Dawn for them. They have 6 Dawn left. And with 6 Dawn, the question is, can they kill the Luffy Taro? They pay 2 Mystere. Cards just keep coming. So they bottom 2 and they grab it looks like the Barto 2k blocker. So it's a 2k and it's a blocker. Both words I really am not in the mood to hear right now. This is really such a pain, especially after, just such a great start. And another Rebecca in hand. So yeah, that's I think the 3rd Rebecca at this point, because there was one early on that we killed. So 3 Rebeccas, Laboon, Jack, Brook, and Mystere, just to round it all out. The Luffy Taro does stick, which is, a small consolation prize. Technically, if we did have the 6-cost Luffy here, we would have 4 swings, 2 blockers. I think our chances would be decent at least. The swings would be kind of heavy, but unfortunately we did bottom it, so that mistake coming to haunt us at this point in the game. Thinking what it is I want to do. Looking at my hand, I think since we're 2 Dawn less than them, we can make use of the Sanji blocker. Maybe my goal is to just play double Sanji blocker, spam the board as much as possible, try and survive 1 more turn, and then maybe try to take the game after that. I think with 3 Gum-Gums in hand, we can survive a little bit. But, playing the 2 Sanji blockers is all well and good, but as long as they have the Laboon and Brook on board, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So really thinking of this turn here. I'm going to try and maybe swing at the Laboon, hope that they just give it up before playing any of the bodies. Sorry, I'm in such despair at this point in the game. I sort of covers part of the camera, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe if I swing hard enough into the Laboon, maybe they're scared also to give a Rebecca in case the Luffy comes out, and they can just let go of the Laboon. If the Laboon leaves the board, it's a lot less pressure for me, and maybe we can establish the 2 Sanjis, but no, they just give the Rebecca, which is very interesting. I guess if I did have the 6-cost Luffy here, it would be very, very good, but or it's the same thing, I guess, because Rebecca eats the Luffy Taro swing anyways if I'm going for game. So we play the 2 Sanjis as predicted, and we swing 7 into Brook. I know that he's been recurring a lot of 2Ks through Rebecca, through Mystere, so I just want to maybe get rid of that Brook at least. as an extra KO tool for them. We stage the Sanji and we pass with just one Dawn. I don't think they're going to go or attempt to go for game here, so we don't really need more than one Dawn. We still have the one life to go off to. I think they're just going to tunnel into our board. I'm hoping at least 2 bodies can stick here. So Laboon immediately onto the Luffy Taro and Jack killing it. They pitch the Kuzan off Jack effect. Still 10 Dawn, so the magic of that happening without even using a single Dawn is really awe-inspiring. Let's just put it like that. So we still have a 6 cost and an 8 cost on board. We take a look at their trash, just trying to count the Tempest kicks, the Rebeccas, and the 2Ks. So there's still one more Rebecca in their deck. And Mystere coming down. It's crazy. It's insane. He's too good at the game. And yeah, bringing back the Rebecca, smart choice by Lucci. And now they can just play a fortress game, picking at our resources. So they swing 6 at lead, minusing the Sanji. We could give them the 1k, but I think at this point we can also just take the life. We get the trigger, which is really good because it allows us to dig just a little bit deeper into the deck. And I think we are close to cycling all the way through and getting that first 6 cost Luffy that we bottomed at the beginning of the game. And actually, if I was keeping track here, we would know that that 6 cost Luffy is actually very, very close to being at the top of the deck. We just take the Sanji Pudding. And yeah, there comes the Rebecca. The question is here, can they clear one of the Sanji blockers? They grab back Sabo, so just showing us that there's more blockers where they came from, and spending the last 3 to play out the Barto blocker, and it really truly is a fortress. Both of our bodies do stick, which was the goal at the end of the day. We need to try and get as far close to at least removing one of those blockers as possible. So Sanji drawing us a card, we get the Frankie, and we ramp back 1 Dawn after using leader effect, 5 Dawn total. And like I said, in hindsight, we are very close to that 6 cost Luffy, but I wasn't really keeping track here. And if I did, maybe I could have planned it in a way to keep a couple Dawn open, Gum Gum on purpose next turn, and we might see him, and then we can hope to take game if we survive the next turn. I make a fatal mistake actually that ends up, spoiler alert, costing the game over here. We try to swing in a way that at least 1, if not 2 of the blockers get utilized. So I start with a 6 just to see what they do, and overtime has been called. There's 5 minutes left in the game. And I think for this 6, they just give us a 2k. Yeah, they give us a 2k. And we go 7, swinging with one of the Sanji blockers. Now, it's fine to swing with one of the Sanji blockers. There's no issue here. But if we chose to do that, we need to keep be aware of the fact that Sanji is our last remaining blocker. We opted to play the Frankie, which I think I realized immediately it's a mistake. I just wanted another body on board because if I can survive this turn, I can just swing with everything on board. I wouldn't have had to do that if I realized that 6 cost Luffy was coming up. But the Lucci player quickly identifies that I only have 1 blocker, 1 Dawn also, kind of telling that there's only 1 Gum Gum that can be used. So if they just clear that Sanji, and they do it without even resting Jack, they just attach the remaining 7 Dawn on Jack. We Gum Gum here, and we draw into that Luffy from the beginning of the game. And like I said, if we sort of kept track of that, which is objectively kind of maybe hard to do, but I think we could have done it. We would know that we would draw into it if we Gum Gum, and if we do that, we go back up to 7, and then we can utilize that. So first, it's fine to swing with the Sanji blocker as long as we don't call this. There was no reason to call this. Keeping up multiple cards. Dawn, actually, now that I think about it, even if we kept multiple Dawn, we wouldn't be at the Dawn thresholds to play out the 6-cost Luffy, because we would have bled too much Dawn from the Gum Gum Giant. So maybe in this case we just have to keep the 2 Sanjis standing, and then hope. And then we can call out Frankie, it's an extra swing, and hope they have no easy way to clear both of them, and our 1 Gum Gum can keep us alive for next turn. And then with Sanji Pudding, if it survives, any of the blockers survive, and Frankie plus 6-cost Luffy, we might be able to take game. So yeah, reviewing it over here, there was maybe still an out, but I think I was just so dejected at the end of this game that we sort of went with this play as a Hail Mary, and I only realized after I played these cards. So unfortunately, losing into the 4th round, like I mentioned in the last video, there was one more round here, so the Lucci player goes up against Shanks in the finals, and our goal here, because we know that top 2 make the Treasure Cup card, to win our last round, and our tie break, were so exceptional up until this point that if we win that last round, there is a chance that we climb over and still manage to finish second. So we will catch you guys in the epic conclusion next round, going up against Red Purple Luffy, which is a leader I don't really see much these days, but should be an interesting game to watch regardless. As always, thank you guys for watching, and please be sure to keep any comments, criticisms, mistakes, misplays, alternative plays down in the comments below. I'd love to read them and review them with you guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.